comm sends our food, mostly leftovers from the dinner that we'd missed, out to us in a floating basket as Amicus prepares the sightseer.
Like the baby Moses.
Like the baby Moses. We board, and soon enough we're heading out toward the island, the one that I haven't seen since I followed Alex there with Neferu. Being so late at night, or rather early in the morning, was refreshing compared to the humid mornings and afternoons. Amicus is clearly enjoying it, his elbows on the railing of our craft, leaning back, head tilted up toward the sky, a slight smile on his face. His fur whips around gently on his face and torso, and that single fang that always pokes out under his lip glints softly under the light of the celestial bodies above us. He looks so peaceful, something he deserves more than anything. So I savor the moment, trying to capture this image perfectly in my mind, knowing that not so long from now, I'll want to be able to look back on this when I'm out on my own. I bite my lip and blink back the small threat of tears just in time before Amicus's eyes open again. Despite everything seemingly getting in our way, we will have to travel for a few weeks together before you might leave. Oh, for what? For you to tour the moon, and also for us to pick up Cassius from the final city in his destination. It will give you an opportunity to see most of Adastra, so that you better understand the moon. Amicus winks. And it has been decreed by the parents, so there's no getting out of it. Don't I know it? I feel both happiness at the idea of having some guaranteed time with Amicus, while also feeling that pang of resentment at the thought of the parents making it happen.
So manipulative.
Yep. Our craft pushes up onto the beach, and Amicus hops out before reaching out a paw to help me down onto the sand, even though he doesn't have to. I bring the blanket, while Amicus carries the basket, and we set things out in roughly the same spot we did all those months ago in my first weeks here. Only months. It feels like years. As we set out the food, I do kind of wish we had Neapolitan pizza, as I see the usual bread, cheese, olives, and poultry, along the various vegetables I've never been able to identify. Still, it's good enough, and I'm just happy to lounge next to Amicus while we eat. Again, it's in that comfortable silence that I always enjoy with my wolf. That seems like a weird sentence.
It is a little bit of a weird sentence.
Silence that doesn't have to be filled with anything except the sounds of chewing, which mostly comes from Amicus. After a while, though, he breaks the silence with something that almost makes me choke on my Verdi. So, how do humans get married? You present a ring, correct?
Oh, see, that'd make me choke too. Excuse me?
I cough loudly for a second while Amicus stares. Are you all right? What do you mean by that? I stare at Amicus, then look around, trying to spot something that might tell me what the wolf is up to. I am just curious. That's what you said when you asked me about dating. Oh, yes. Are you suspecting that I might ask for your paw in marriage? Even though Amicus is grinning teasingly, I can tell that he's blushing even under the moonlight. You didn't think asking something like that would make me suspicious? Well, I don't know. It's an interesting topic that has never been brought up. Two males cannot marry anyway, let alone ones from different species. I feel myself calm down a little, not sure how I would have reacted if Amicus had just whipped out a ring then and there. Yes. Amicus is still looking at me, expecting an answer. I swallow, then think. I guess you just propose to the person you want to marry. Then you go to the courthouse and sign some papers and it's official, I think. I don't know, I've never been married. And in some places, males can marry other males, right? I narrow my eyes. How would you know that? Again, I've spent some time with your Nexus. It's only fair I do, considering you've been spending so much of your own time learning about Adastra. I've got such mixed feelings about this, because it's like, on some level sweet that he's like putting effort in to learn about you, but also it's like, when are you having time for this, and why aren't you spending it with Marco?
Yeah, honestly, I was thinking about that with the whole restaurant thing.
Yeah.
I was like, I feel like this would take a lot of your extraneous time.
Yeah.
And I haven't been seeing a lot of you lately. I'm a little PO'd.
He admittedly might have just given somebody the information and was like, and then clap to deal with it.
Yeah, I mean, you'd hope so. But I mean, if you're named the restaurant Marco's, better be decorated right. So, just saying.
I'm starting to see why Amicus might have been so busy these past months. Starting up his own restaurant and learning human cuisine.
Human culture.
Well, you're right. There are a lot of places on Earth where you can marry the same sex. Amicus looks off into the lake. That does sound rather nice. What about Italy?
I actually don't know if it's gay marriage is legal in Italy.
I glance at Amicus, noticing the interest that he's been taking in the country he abducted me from. I suppose it's a place for him to look to for inspiration, a vision of what Adastra could be, which makes sense and is deeply ironic.
Yeah.
The premise, as far as he understands, was to make Italy like Adastra.
Yes. I mean, little did he know. It is kind of funny that the place he abducted us from is just the most close to his own culture of any place on the entire planet. Like, if he had picked up some, like, kid from, like, India or something, it would be an entirely different story.
Yeah, although he probably intentionally visited the uplift location. That's probably, like, the whole reason he was there. But it's just deeply ironic that the thing that he's now potentially looking up to the culture that they were supposed to have uplifted.
Which, once again, the kind of got... I mean, Italy's around, but, the Roman culture is kind of obliterated. So I don't know if you should be looking to them.
It's the location of the uplift, of course, but it also has a turbulent history.
Yes, exactly.
And politics that have always been raucous and unpredictable.
See, we're saying everything as soon as it comes up, Keith.
But,
so smart.
But considering where the country started and where it is now, Amicus wouldn't be wrong to find inspiration there. Again, Amicus is waiting for his answer, and I have to think back to what little I researched about the topic. Sort of. I think civil unions are a thing, which is pretty close to marriage, but not really. I think if you marry someone from an EU country, you can... I realize that Amicus might have no idea what I'm talking about, even though he seems to be listening intently.
They're a little bit too close to the Vatican, so I feel like they might not be super cool with it. Anyway,
yeah, sort of. Civil unions. Mostly marriage, but not really marriage. I think it'll happen there soon, though. Sounds complicated. Yeah, it gets really complicated. Amicus is still looking out at the lake. You want to swim? I blink. No, the water will be freezing. So I don't want to die of hypothermia? Amicus guffaws. You really are a pup. It's not that cold. I roll my eyes, feeling a little whiplash from the sudden change in conversation. Then I yelp in surprise as I feel myself get swooped up from the ground, easily held up in Amicus's strong paws. Hey! I'll show you. Oh no, what? I struggle in the wolf's grasp, very much in the mood, not in the mood to be dunked in freezing cold water. Amicus's strength can't be matched by me, though. What? Yeah, okay, yeah. I was like, hang on. I had to remember, I had to, like, reassess the phrasing. Amicus's strength can't be matched by me, though. And the waves get louder as the wolf walks closer to the water's edge. Amicus, my robe. Realizing that a dip in the lake is inevitable, I try and struggle out of my garments, but at that moment I'm suddenly set back down on my feet. Dazed, I stumble. We're right at the water's edge, where the waves are crawling up the sand just a few inches from my feet. The lake stretches out to my right, dark and expansive, the blackness broken by the shimmers of silver light, reflecting off the rippling water. It takes me a while to finally focus on Amicus. That's because he's kneeling on the beach, reaching up toward me with both paws, and I see what is definitely a ring held between the pads of his fingers. I stare. Amicus clears his throat, his bravado just a minute ago having quickly faded, replaced by a look he'd once worn when he offered me a bouquet of flowers in the gardens.
Oh my goodness.
Will you be my husband?
Oh.
I continue to stare. Amicus stares back, clearly trying to keep a confident look on his face, but after a few more seconds it fails. I know what I'm doing this time. I was sure to research it. I know what this means. He stubbornly holds up the ring. Now I get a good look at it, and I'm not sure if it's just reflecting the sky, but the ring appears to be a dark, dark blue, with tiny speckles of sparkling stones dotting the rim, just like the stars above.
Wowee, that sounds nice.
A thin stripe of silver wraps all the way around the band, straight down the middle.
I wonder if like Haps, who made this game, thought a lot about what kind of rings he likes. Like, I feel like that sounds like a fantasy ring.
Yeah, because Haps is the artist, but he didn't write the game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Whoever wrote the game then had to sit there.
Howley,
is this your fantasy ring?
he specifically wrote a few of the routes of Echo, and then to process how fucked up he was feeling at that point, wrote Adastra as a side project. And then it became a much bigger thing.
I just feel like
it feels like a game that started off meant to be wish fulfillment, and then it became this big complicated mess of sorrow and whatnot, because that seems to be how we do.
Well, honestly, it's a little bit more realistic, because that's how a lot of our actual attempts to achieve wish fulfillment go in our actual lives, so I do appreciate that.
Yeah. This recontextualizes how stressed he was earlier today, because he was specifically planning on proposing to us in the restaurant, wasn't he?
Oh, that makes this it makes it very just a little bit extra sad, actually.
It's like really stressful. Like he was like, he had this really specific plan for Lover's Day, even though what a kind of annoying day to happy year anniversary. The celebration that everyone already like Valentine's Day for your anniversary.
It's like having a birthday near Christmas.
Yeah.
It's like both your holidays are in one. Haha.
All the children of the.
Well, your anniversary is supposed to be when you get married, so it's not when you propose.
Right.
So yeah, so you can space it out.
I mean, you can have several anniversaries.
Why don't you just celebrate every great thing that ever happens to you?
Yes.
So that way every day of the year is like pretty fucking dope.
Every time something good happens to you, put it on your Google Calendar and say repeat annually, and then just get reminded every year of that day.
That one time I had like the best sushi I ever had was on this day. If I ever have better sushi, I have to replace the whole day.
Oh, the parents of the children of December have a clutch because their birthdays are the hardest to remember.
Not hardest to remember, it's hardest to afford.
Something. Make a little note. It's a song by The Slip, but it's hard to remember everything, ironically.
People, if your birthday is near Christmas, I'm sorry for you. If I knew you, I'd buy you a full gift for both those things and not try to wrap them in one like an asshole.
I mean, it's a rough time for gift giving.
It's expensive, it is, but I don't think it's fair.
It's expensive, and you're already like having trouble thinking of gifts for everyone, so you're like, oh fuck.
You get 2 gift cards.
I mean, I have 2 weeks after Christmas, I have a double birthday to worry about in my family. I have 2 birthdays at like the same time, which makes those people, one of those people especially frustrated, because they're not only do they're getting like the reduced birthday impact of being right after Christmas, but they're sharing it with another family member, and they're not the same day, but they often the family tries to often group them into the same celebration, and he does not enjoy that.
Yeah, let's get back to this romantic stuff. We're probably pissing everyone off.
No. But you said that males couldn't marry each other. I mumbled that out stupidly, not sure why it's the first thing that comes to mind. Amicus ducks his head slightly. No, but I am Emperor, and I know that might sound bad after what happened earlier, but I want this, so I will have it. Amicus looks back at me with a determined expression. That is, if you will have it as well.
That's more like it.
Yeah, he means the changing the world, not making you do it.
Yeah.
I'm frozen, and that determined expression melts away once again as Amicus looks like he's about to panic. 8 years ago, Marco. That is too long. We need to bind us together, to always remember, to have something when we reunite. A few more moments of silence. I see Amicus's paws faltering, starting to pull back, and that's what finally gets my stupid brain to force me to move, reaching down to gently touch the ring. Yes, of course. Amicus's ears perk up. Yes? I will marry you, of course. I laugh through the last words, not even sure what I'm doing right now. Yes! Amicus hops to his feet, fist in the air, as if he's just won some kind of sports competition. Before I can say anything else, he's crushing the air from my lungs with the force of the hug that he pulls me into, pressing his muzzle against my lips. Then, when he pulls back, he adds another kiss, this one a canine-style lick up the side of my face. Ah! I flinch, surprised by the gesture. It's a juvenile show of affection, something a pup would do, and something Amicus has never done to me before. He looks happier than I've seen him in months. Marco, I'm going to be the best husband there ever was. I love you. He pulls me against his body again, more gently this time, looking into my eyes. Though I know that marriages on Adastra are more pragmatic, it seems that Amicus has, for the most part, educated himself on the more emotional, romantic meaning it holds on Earth. The wolf takes my hand in his much bigger paw, dragging it up between us so that he can slide the ring on. Amicus chuckles as it's clear that it's much, much too big, at least twice the width of my finger. I'll have to have it fitted, of course. I simply wanted it to be a complete surprise. It worked. I was worried when you didn't assume the usual position I examined in the images Com showed me for a human proposal. Position? The male is on one knee, and the female does this. Amicus assumes a look of surprise, both paws up on his muscle. I'm laughing as I hold up the ring in the moonlight, examining the tiny speckles of sparkling stone embedded in the dark blue metal. I also thought a stretch ring would be most appropriate. Stretch ring? Amicus reaches out, taking the ring from my fingers to hold it up between us. It symbolizes space and the stars, of course, but this... Amicus points a blunt claw at the thin strip of silver running around the middle of the band. It symbolizes the connection between those who are long distances apart. Yeah? Yes. Some believe that the shape of our universe is spherical, and that it sort of folds in upon itself. Amicus sees my furrowed brows. Think of it like this. If I walk in that direction, Amicus points out across the lake, in a straight line for many months, eventually I will end up right back here, next to you. So there is a belief that the universe could hold a similar shape, a sphere that is expanding. And this ring... Amicus spins the ring around, showing me the silver circle, reminds us that even if we are moving apart on the stretch line, on the stretch drive, we are still moving toward each other in a straight line, which is the fastest way to get somewhere. A touch convoluted, I know, and somewhat unlikely theory, but it can be a comforting thought, and Amicus thrives on comforting thoughts. I like to think of it more as being connected by fate. Yes, we will be far apart, but there is an invisible thread connecting us that cannot be broken, and will soon draw us back together. I cut the wolf off as I hug him, pressing my face into his chest, the bittersweet sadness I'd been feeling for many months coming to the surface all at once. Amicus holds me quietly as we stand there on the bench and on the beach in silence.
Don't stand on benches.
Don't stand on benches. It's bad luck or something. Also,
Probably.
like, it's fate. It's an invisible thread known as the fucking parents. I'm happy and sad all at once, and I just want to stay here forever. Anyway, not there anymore. The immediate smash cut is funny. We make our way back to our room, the sky beginning to tighten with the approaching dawn. Along the way, Amicus starts to get handsy, and by the time we're at the door, the wolf's practically pushes me inside, attacking my neck with licks. I cringe and laugh at the ticklishness of it, trying to escape, until Amicus has me pinned to the wall next to the door. Going somewhere? The wolf starts to take off my robe, and at the same time, I start to remove my garments.
You're removing his garments.
Are we about to have a censored scene?
Well, I mean, gosh, I hope not.
Yes, and you're coming with me. Oh? Well, lead the way then. I grab his semi-hard length, which causes it to immediately twitch to full mast. Gonna have fun today?
Yes.
Get to hear me say this shit again?
It's so fun for me.
Amicus seems to grow frustrated with undoing my underwear, and resorts to just yanking it down from my body, leaving me naked as well. The wolf sweeps me off my feet and takes me to the bed. All the while, we both kiss each other. It's much more passionate, almost animalistic compared to our kiss on the beach, Amicus growling into it while my tongue pushes past his lips, feeling his big, long teeth and wide, flat tongue. He lays me on the bed and we kiss each other for a while, Amicus's paws moving up and down my sides while I feel up his back, his cock laying heavy on top of mine, twitching each time I make a moaning sound. Finally, the wolf pulls back, his tongue hanging out for a moment before he clears his throat, suddenly looking nervous. You alright? Yes, but there was something else I wanted to do for Lover's Day.
Oh, what's that?
Yeah. I look around, wondering what else could be done aside from what we're doing right now. I would like to attempt some type of, what would you call it? Penetration.
About time.
My heart skips a beat. We'd been intimate many times the past few months, and Amicus had inquired a few times about entering me, but I'd always been hesitant because of our size difference. Eventually, the wolf just stopped asking. I know that you're wary of my size, but if you'd like to try, I've made sure to get proper lubrication. The best quality on the moon.
He paid extra for the extra fancy lube.
Now that you have my ring, I'd like yours.
Let me polish it for you.
Got it. I could have made it so much worse, I just realized. I should have said, now that you're wearing my ring, I'd like to wear yours. Jesus Christ.
Let's get it nice and shiny first.
The frequency with which I make much dirtier jokes in my mind than I even say on camera, but this is the time where I don't have to ever hide any of them.
Yeah, no, this is definitely this is fair game, you know?
Jesus Christ. Amicus walks over to the dresser and opens a drawer before pulling out a jar.
Wow.
A jar.
A whole jar.
I gotta say, worst possible thing you could hold lube in is a thing as a jar.
Well, you can't fucking open it if your hands are fucking slippery.
Like, that's the worst dispenser, the worst lid you could have. Like, you will not find a jar of lube anywhere.
Well, unless you're using like a Crisco or something, which you should not do.
Like, very consistently, it's definitely like that weird snap top, or it's literally like a lotion
pump or
like
something.
Pump or something. Like, it's not a fucking jar.
At least it's not in a jug.
A jug.
He just pulls out a whole barrel.
It's like the worst of all possible combinations of fucking jug. How do you get it out? Out of a jug. What a fucking,
just lay down a tarp and just pour it all over the bed. A gallon of milk.
Imagining the full commitment to like a fucking like an easy dispenser for ketchup, but of lube, like the ones that you specifically keep upside down, like lid on the bottom.
Dude, I'm sure if I spent the proper time.
What are worse ways of dispensing lube? A hamster feeder of lube. The fucking like ball on the end. You have to like tap at the ball to get lube. Just like one of the worst
Dude,
containers.
how would you administer it? You just like stick it up there, like pop, pop, pop.
I mean, that's a thing. That's absolutely a thing. There are definitely ways. There's definitely lube dispensers where you insert the thing.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, I'm aware of that.
Yeah,
I just don't like the thought,
including like dildos with cum tubes.
Oh yeah, no, I know. Like I said,
As
bad
prep.
dragon, dude. But no, I just feel bad.
You got to pay extra for the cum tube and the suction cup.
Well, of course, you gotta pay extra for that. That's like artisanal work, right there.
I mean, it's all handcrafted. It's all artisanal.
See, what I don't like
dragon cock
is the thought of something a hamster
pink.
drinks from being stuck up some dude's ass. That's where I draw the line.
I mean, that was my goal. I was like, how do I make this almost dark?
Oh my gosh.
This is what Christians think gay sex is like, and it's like a hamster bottle full of lube.
I sent you a picture of that crucifix dildo before, right?
The crucifix dildo?
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't remember.
The baby Jesus butt plug. No, it's real.
Oh no.
That one's a little bit oh no.
Oh no. I mean, at that point, you're on a mission.
Well, I think that was the point. I almost think it's more of an art piece than anything else. But I think they were buyable.
We've obliterated the romantic scene.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, I think all this is. I think everything we just talked about is very romantic.
Yeah. Yeah.
He has the jar.
This all happened because he said jar. And that
I will agree.
Neither of us could accept the word jar.
If he's paying for the most expensive, the fanciest lube in the whole fucking planet, it's not gonna come in a jar, okay? Not now, but I'm gonna try to find the most expensive lube that exists.
The worst thing about a jar is just that, like, it comes with the implication that you have to, like, reach in and get it, like, with your finger.
Like a jiffy, jiffy peanut butter. Oh
like,
no! Oh no!
Is that why it's in a jar like peanut butter? Because he's a dog.
Oh no, that's a whole other thing. We're going, no! As long as it's not the crunchy kind.
What? Crunchy? What is it? Lube with microbeads? Like, what the fuck?
For exfoliation?
No!
That'd be all bad.
He hasn't opened by the time he returns.
It took him a long time because it's a fucking jar.
Yeah, that's the lore reason for how long that line took. But I decided it would only be fair if I offered a choice instead.
Yes, it is only fair.
A choice?
Consent.
Well, not consent. That's not what he means by choice.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I want to be even closer with you, Marco. But if it's not possible for you to take me in, then I'll take you.
Oh, that is romantic.
Especially with how much shame he has tied to that exact idea.
Yeah,
This is like trauma. My eyebrows shoot up and Amicus rolls his eyes. Well, don't look so surprised. Weren't you the one that told me the Emperor shouldn't have anything near their butts or something? And they shouldn't. Amicus blushes furiously. But if you're to be my future husband, and we keep it from the public, of course, and I would still like to try to enter you, as I feel that suits me better, but if I'm going to leave the choice up to you, for Lover's Day. So which position would you like to take?
Oh my gosh, we get a choice! Oh my gosh. So we can do both?
Yeah.
Yay! Thanks. Okay.
Yay!
Yay!
I have to read 2 sex scenes now in the row. Right after the lube talk.
So
what an episode.
I understand that I think because I know it's his preference, I'd be nice. I'd try the bottom, but then if it became a huge issue, I'd be like, sorry, fuck you, dude. But that's what I would that's what I would do. I'm not in this situation. But I think that's the nicer thing for Marco to do, because it's just his actual preference, regardless of all the social stigma. I think he'd feel more comfortable. And since this is our first time doing anything like that, I would choose bottom. But we're gonna do both anyway, so I'll let you choose which one we do first.
Yeah. Let's see. I like to do the one that I think of as canon first, like the one that is like the one we're keeping essentially.
Don't you want to do that one second, because that's the one that we?
Because then we could just keep going afterwards.
Yeah.
Sort of. It's just the one that you do first feels more real.
Okay.
The second one feels like an alternate scene. So
see, when I play games, I do the opposite. I do the one I'm not going to do first, and then I go back
you're the
to
person that quick saves and shoots people in the head, and then all right, load.
Yes, 100%.
I had to double check what the question was, because it's who's topping and bottom is important. So it's our position. So bottom, and bottom is on the bottom.
So that is Marco.
Yes. I look between the wolf's legs, and though I'm nervous, I know that Amicus will do his best to keep me comfortable.
Seeing that could be a bonding experience.
Amicus follows my eyes and looks down at his crotch, then back up at me, frowning. Yes, so I suppose you'd like to... bottom. I'll try being on bottom. Let's just be careful. Oh, well, of course. I plan to take it very slowly. I see the wolf's dick twitch as he quickly hardens up to half-mast at just the thought of penetrating me, making me feel a little nervous. The wolf is focused on dipping his fingers into the jar while approaching me.
No, I hate that jar.
It is like the fucking like Crisco image or something.
Oh man.
Like, I'm just thinking of, like, the...
Vaseline or something.
Yeah, I'm thinking of, like, the container that, like, shaping cream comes in for hair. Like, it just is how
it's weird. Not in a jar. Isn't that, like, Barbasol, like a spray?
But no, there's a... if you get, like, men's shaping cream from, like, a salon or something, you get, like, this little green, like, tub with a screw off top. Right? And it's, like, a plastic tub with a screw off top, and you have to, like, scoop it out.
Oh, like gel.
Yeah, like, it's really weird. And it never feels right, like how much you're supposed to use, and also just like it's a gross process. So I just hate it as a concept, and didn't want to learn how to use it because I didn't want to do it anymore. I don't like scooping the fingertip of shaping cream out of a thing and being like, "All right, time to put this on me."
Yeah. So note to self: type. When I buy Keith lube for Christmas, don't buy him the kind
that doesn't exist.
Nothing in a jug, a jar, or in a screw top container that requires scooping.
I don't think you need notes for that.
Type on my phone. Note to self.
Yeah, ticket. I'm typing with both hands with clicky clack on my touchscreen phone.
Yeah, on my BlackBerry.
Stupid. Tipping his fingers. My heart starts to hammer in my chest as I move to stand by the bed, watching as Amicus grabs up his length to slather the lubricant over his ebony cock.
Yeah.
It hardens further in response to that, and that's finally when he turns to me, his ever-growing length swinging gently between his legs. At that point, it's more bobbing, honestly. Swinging is a weird thing to say about something that's hard. I swallow hard. I swallow bobbing. Moving to sit on...
Both those things can work.
No, that doesn't... I mean, later, not here. It doesn't make sense yet. Moving to sit on the bed, trying not to look nervous. Of course, Amicus picks up on that right away, and he gently sets upon my shoulder. Hey, we don't need to do this at all. I simply thought you might like to try it after all this time. Amicus looks down between his legs. Would you rather do what we usually do? I hear the flavor of the lubricant is rather pleasant.
Flavor of lubricant is never actually pleasant.
We never got a scene with Marco and Oral. They're just implying they've done it before. I'm like, oh, cool. Just didn't fucking bring us along.
Rude.
Amicus starts to raise his lubricated fingers to his mouth, about to lick before I grab his wrist gently. No, I'm just not sure what to expect. I want to do this. Get used to it so we can do it more often. Amicus smiles at me, then hugs me tightly, pressing our naked bodies against each other. I shiver slightly at the way his fur tickles my skin, the way I can feel his muscles and bulk through the flattened fur, the way he rests his square jaw on the top of my head. The combination of power and soft gets to me like it always does, and my own cock twitches to life. We're all twitching today. Well, expect me to be very gentle, and if anything becomes too much for you, simply say so, and we will stop. Then continue something more familiar instead.
That's very sweet.
Well, it's Lover's Day, so I want to make it special. Tonight is already special, Marco. Don't worry about that. I only want to be with you right now. It's very... I appreciate the several layers of not being pressured after the opening, like... Look, he realized that he put too much pressure on this thing because it's like a day and everything, so now he's like, no, don't fucking like hurt yourself trying to impress me now.
You know, don't be broken, don't be split in two like a piece of lumber.
Like a piece of lumber?
Yeah.
Amicus.
I said limber, huh?
Did you say limber?
Maybe I did.
I feel like you said limber, but I still
Oh yeah, lumber is definitely what I meant. I'm glad that you
But I'm like a piece of lumber.
Yeah. Split
me like lumber.
Daddy.
God damn it. It's just the least hot possible thing. Like lumber.
How much wood could a woodchuck chuck?
If a woodchuck was wolfcock. Amicus tilts my chin up and kisses me, a paw sliding down to cup my rear. He gives it a gentle squeeze before wrapping a paw around my legs and leaning me back so that he can lay me on the bed without breaking the kiss. I hold on to him, sliding my hands around his broad back before more timidly sliding them down, then grabbing and squeezing his ass. Normally this would make him yelp or scramble away indignantly, but this time he just gasps against my mouth in surprise, then laughs while dragging his muzzle down my torso. He licks and kisses my chest, teasing my nipples with his tongue and even gently nipping with his teeth before licking his way down my stomach. By the time he's reached my groin, I'm hard and leaking, and judging by the grin on his face, that's just what he'd wanted. And looking down between us, I can see that I'm definitely not the only one, Amicus being as hard as I've ever seen him, leaking pre onto my lower stomach as he grins at me. This video is going to be age-gated.
I mean...
Also, get ready to be increasingly disappointed by the censoring, because I've seen these slides.
Oh, man. Sorry, everyone in the audience.
They have the internet.
Yes.
And are hopefully of age to be this far in this fucking series. And I'll show you in a minute.
Okay.
It seems that you've become aroused, young ape.
Oh no!
Oh
my god!
Shit, it's really funny.
I'm gonna say it to someone one day, and it'll go either one or two ways.
Just gonna test that tonight.
Young ape.
I just hear the door slam, and I never see him again.
Oh my gosh.
Friend, just relationship over.
Hey man, I've said worse and not gotten broken up with, so I must be doing something right.
What a thing to write. And that's the first thing you hear when this face is made. Like this expression.
The face looks like it's saying that.
It's eye contact with us, like the camera.
How'd you know?
It seems you've become aroused, young ape. Is there something that you find tantalizing about a wolf like me? Are you a fucking furry? I'm not dating a furry. It's hard to answer, as I'm a bit distracted by the way our dicks just press up against each other, Amicus's hot flesh gliding smoothly against mine each time he moves. I think it's the other way around, young pup. Amicus grins as he just smears the pre across my stomach, the gesture having a rather territorial feel to it. It's a wolf thing, but it gets me even more excited, and when Amicus finally gets more lube, he gently spreads me, then begins to coat my hole with the slick substance. It's a little cold, but it warms up to my body temperature very quickly, and I gasp as Amicus completely coats me. I am going to reach inside a bit to help loosen you, if that's all right. I swallow, but nod quickly, the intimacy of having my lover touch me in such a private place making my cock jump on my stomach. It does it again as Amicus pushes in a little bit, and I lean my head back, just experiencing the feel of his pads gently circling my entrance. It's a little embarrassing, but I'm getting really hard, and when Amicus leans forward to lick my length, I gasp and push away with the hand on his forehead. Whoa, I'm close. Amicus grins at me. Already? You're not taking it very easy. My voice is a little higher pitched, breathless as I try to keep my muscles loose. Well, I think we should move forward if that's the case. Very slowly. Amicus waits, and when I keep my legs open, his hips tilted, my hips tilted up to receive him, Amicus does move forward. Face. The process is slow, and I tell him to stop sooner than I wanted to. But when he pauses, I get used to the feeling pretty quick, and he moves forward again. We take a break 3 more times, allowing me to get used to the feeling, before he's finally in most of the way. While I'd gotten soft over the course of the penetration, I quickly get hard again when the tip of his cock suddenly hits that particular spot deep inside me, and I arch with a soft gasp. Amicus seems to like that, because he responds with a growl, leaning in to kiss my neck. The movement sends him deeper, forcing more involuntary moans out of me, while at the same time the action pushes my hips further upward, making me all the more vulnerable. The feeling of exposing myself like this, allowing Amicus access, it's making me leak like never before. When Amicus is finished licking me, he pulls back to begin thrusting into me, slowly at first, then building up speed when I don't complain. And while I gasp and groan at the feeling of something so thick, so deep inside me, I still manage to pay attention to the wolf. He seems to be lost in his own world, seemingly completely focused on what he's doing and what he's feeling. It feels like he doesn't know what he's doing, even though I know he's had at least some experience.
He's just too excited.
It's rough and kind of sloppy, but it's my wolf doing it, and that's enough to get me close again. Very close. I'm close. I see a brief look of surprise in Amicus's face before he picks up the speed, only bringing me closer to a climax. I can tell Amicus wants to come at the same time, and slowly he makes it, tensing up just as I do. And somehow he makes it. I grit my teeth. Yeah. I grit my teeth, watching his face as he stares at the ceiling, his mouth hanging open, even drooling a little as he teeters on the edge of climax. Without warning, I pull him in tightly, wrapping my legs around his waist and forcing his length the last few inches in. This forces a choked groan out of Amicus, his eyes widening even more before he slumps forward again. His paws slap the bed covers as he leans forward, tensing, then shuddering as he unloads himself inside me in waves. Those thrusts send me over the edge too, and I moan, grabbing at Amicus's arms, anchoring myself against the pleasure as I spurt over my stomach. I moan even louder when Amicus thrusts again, forcing another spurt out of my cock, followed by a few more, each of them in sync with Amicus's cock ramming into me. Amicus's moans transition to growls as he leans further forward, his tongue hanging out, wincing one eye shut as I feel his cock spasm one last time inside me before the wolf collapses. He cushions his fall with his elbows on either side of me, leaning in until his head comes to rest on my chest. We both lay there, gasping, not caring about the mess, just quietly enjoying each other while I feel him slowly get smaller inside me. Happy Lover's Day, Marco.
Yay!
Happy Lover's Day. I promise I won't ruin the next one, even if it might be 8 years away. I'm mentioning that right now.
Oh yeah, way to fucking ruin it.
Well, that's a lot of time to prepare then. I'm gonna have to get some toys.
I was gonna say he's gonna get some dilators and stuff.
Just order the whole set online the moment he gets home.
He's like, I can't lose my edge, you know?
Amicus laughs, then leans in to kiss me again. Aww. So romantic. Quick load. Anyway.
Dude, I just want to point out that during that, my dog decided it was the time to be pet. And so I just had to sit here and just pat her on the head. My poor, innocent, sweet, dumb dog.
Well, this is just happening. This corrupting
not knowing
force
of all
in
the
the room.
lewdness. I was like, right now? You need pets right now? She's like, yeah. I'm like, okay.
I considered the size differential again. And even though I know Amicus might prefer the other way around, I just don't think I'm quite ready yet. Top, if that's okay.
Oh.
I see the look of apprehension on Amicus's face for just a moment before he smiles. Of course. We don't have... I very much want to. Now... Amicus suddenly turns around.
Oh, this is the first time we've seen his
Where's
butt.
the button? There's the button.
There's his butt.
Yeah.
He's got a cute butt.
Apply the lubrication.
I like how
he just turns around.
He's got that cute little white spot.
Look at his goofy face.
Oh, he's cute.
It occurs to me that the lips don't make any sense. There's a perspective thing that's freaking me out a little bit.
What do you mean?
He's got side mouth. His left lips are all the way forward and his right lips are all the way back. That's why there's pink in the background and his between his teeth.
Yeah.
It's one of those cartoon effects. When you think about it too much, you're like, oh, wait a minute.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Don't worry about it.
Apply the lubrication.
Ta-da!
You want me to do it? Yes. Alright. I quickly dip my fingers into the jar, the cool, jelly-like substance a bit more runny than I expected. I approach my wolf, and I see his ears twitching around, listening. Don't be afraid to apply liberally. Yeah.
Even though your cock is so much smaller than mine.
I reach out with my free hand and cup the canine's rear, the wolf tensing only a little as I feel the thick roundness of it. I spread him slightly and press my dollop of lube into the wolf, forcing a loud gasp out of him. Gods, that's cold. Won't be for long. I gently massage it in before actually entering him slightly. Amicus arches against that, tail lifting just slightly. The wolf lets out a deep, huffing breath as I pull back, picking up the jar, and this time pouring a good amount onto my hand, which I cover with my own shaft with. It is cold, but quickly warms to my skin. Amicus is already laying back on the bed, fully hard, waiting for me. So I guess... I stand between the wolf's legs, Amicus gently spreading them for me while I partially lean up against him in the bed. So you ready? Amicus doesn't look nervous anymore, instead smiling up at me. I think so, yes. Are you? I laugh. Yeah, I think so. Amicus lies there, spread before me, and I just kind of stare. That's when the wolf shifts and starting to look uncomfortable. Well, all right, go ahead. I'm as careful as I can be, going slowly at first, sliding in and waiting for Amicus to grit his teeth. Waiting as Amicus grits his teeth and adjusts, trying to relax. The process is slow, and I wonder if Amicus has ever taken anyone before. Probably not. Eventually, with the help of a little more lube, some of which Amicus pours onto his own paw to jerk himself off, I finally enter fully. Amicus's warmth surrounds me, and suddenly I realize that what the wolf meant by wanting to be closer. Being inside him like this, surrounding me, it's such an intimate feeling. I lean forward and immediately Amicus reaches up to grasp my shoulders, kissing me while his thick, muscular legs wrap around my waist for a moment, suddenly pulling me in deeper. I'm not sure if Amicus intended for that to happen, but he responds with a deep moan into his kiss, the vibrations rumbling through both of our bodies. I thrust in that position for a moment, each one sending a grunt out of Amicus's muzzle, and I can feel him furiously working himself between the two of us. The way the wolf is clenching and unclenching around me, his muscles going into overdrive, it gets me close very, very fast. It's almost embarrassing, actually. I pull myself back from the kissing, standing straight over Amicus while the wolf continues to work himself with his paw. He smiles at me. Keep going. He gasps as I start thrusting again, and I suddenly lean forward as I feel myself release faster than I expected, Amicus tightening around me just as I do.
This whole screen's blocked out.
It's just a circle now.
Oh my goodness.
What did he do to censor? I think Toaster had to I think he manually drew a sensor on this thing, didn't he? He didn't just drew a circle and a bucket fill, because you can see strokes in the top right corner. Like differentials and how the paint of whatever the program is applies. There's contrast.
Maybe he was debating it. If he's maybe this part, and he's oh no, not that. It's maybe a little bit of this. No, none of that. He just had to take parts of it off one at a time. By
the way, for just people wanting at home, yes, Amicus is huge, but Marco's packing. He's surprisingly a lot.
That's honestly what I was more curious about.
He has way more in this scene than I expected.
because the way it comes off Amicus has got this big old furry wolf dick, which is just to be expected from a big old furry wolf. And then Marco's just a person. It's he only has so much.
With zero setup, he's basically just a porn star. It's so much. I was not expecting it when I saw.
That's not fair. How am I supposed to put myself into this story if the character I'm supposed to be role playing as has a way bigger cock than I do?
Which is any.
Yeah. I mean, I own some.
A little different.
Yeah, not the same.
This is clearly what the wolf is waiting for, and he gives himself a few more hard tugs before doing the same. So hard that some of it shoots up against my chin. The rest ends up between us as I lean forward to kiss him again, the two of us jerking and groaning together as he wraps his legs around me once more. It seems to go on forever, and Amicus is still groaning when I'm finished, his warm length twitching gently between us, before going still. The mess we've made is kind of incredible.
It takes up the whole screen.
Yeah. But we lay there for a moment, my head against Amicus's chest while I grow soft inside him, the wolf stroking my hair. I have to look at this scene again, actually.
Yeah, well, yeah, because I need to see
I remember what it looks like instead of what the text says, and it looks like Amicus is on top. But none of the description fits that, so he must be laying down and the camera must just be sideways. But it looks like he's lowering himself down in the picture.
I was gonna say, it does kind of it is a weird place to put his head for that.
Yeah,
angle.
I wonder if
I
wonder if there's a vertical looking bed behind him that I just didn't The mess we've made is kind of incredible, but we lay there for a moment, my head against Amicus's chest while I grow soft inside him, the wolf stroking my hair. Happy Lover's Day, Marco.
Yay!
Happy Lover's Day. I'm gonna ruin it with this line now.
Well, we're gonna be apart for 8 years.
Preparation joke. Ha ha tee hee hee. Anyway, that was the most explicit. We set the new record for most explicit and also longest sex read.
I don't think that's
on this
true.
channel.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna say.
I mean, compared to the previous ones, the other ones weren't multiple choice.
We can beat that. We can find a longer one.
His slick pink cock. The number of people that have quoted that back at me at this point, like, this is, I've made my bed now. Apparently, this is what I get.
So it's just got to be your catchphrase now. We want shirts. If you made a shirt that said that, I would definitely wear it.
A shirt that says that. Like, you can repay me in fan art, not that kind.
I was gonna say something, but I'm not gonna say.
No.
Oh.
No.
No.
Also, fucking shots fired. I'm coming for you, Haps. Haps fucking called me a crybaby.
Well, I mean, is he wrong? What were you crybabying
He's
about?
like, baby, you're a crybaby.
Oh, because
of the crying scene.
Well, I mean,
and I'm like, I'm gonna come for Haps now. Haps never finished Adastra. He didn't finish playing it. He didn't know. He doesn't know how it ends.
He just doesn't. That's
Boom.
Well, I mean,
now it's out there.
Hap should just take it as a compliment that he's a good enough artist to make somebody cry.
I lost my shit when he said that. I'm like, wait, what? Because he draws the art, but he didn't finish playing it.
What if like they had like, what if you did all this art for a game and they just had like your character like die at the end? You didn't even know.
Surprise! All right, see you guys next time.
Goodbye.